How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is me, the Buff Nerd. I know it's been a while since our last video. There's been quite a gap since the last time we had a conversation. Actually, it's been about 3 or 4 months. The last time we talked about me passing the Security Plus, how difficult it was, how fun it was, and where exactly I was going career-wise or where I plan to go. Only about 2 months after that, I managed to get an interview as a network administrator. And with a lot of hard work, dedication, practicing, and labbing, I managed to land. Sorry, I got a text message. I managed to land that role. The reason I wanted to make this video was because I wanted to talk about specifically the transition from the help desk to an administrative role. For anyone who has not seen my previous videos, prior to becoming a network administrator, I was a technical support specialist, which is a fancy word for the help desk. And for those of you who are trying to break into the IT industry, the help desk will likely be the first job that you get after finally breaking in. The help desk is usually the first point of contact when it comes to customers, colleagues, employees, anyone that's at the company that you work for. If they have any technological issues with their computer, phones, anything technology related, they'll give you a call. And it's your job to resolve the issue as fast as possible, between 5 to 10 minutes if you can. And if the ticket takes too long or becomes too complex, you'll pass the issue on to the team that could best handle the situation. Now, specifically me, when I was on the help desk, just a couple of things that I can name that I was helping out with, or the things that I would run into. I would get phone calls saying that oh, my mouse stopped working, can I get a replacement? Or oh, I need this certain program in order to do this certain task, or things along those lines. And what I do is I usually resolve those tickets, and what I would usually do is I would resolve those tickets. And if I couldn't resolve them, I would escalate them to the different teams, which could be desktop, network administrators, database engineers, cloud engineers, whatever the case may be. And I was doing that for about a solid year. So just to get everybody up to speed, I'm only about 2 years into my IT career in total. About 2 years ago, I landed an internship as a desktop support tech, and that lasted about 6 months. And then I got hired in at that same company as a technical support specialist, which is the help desk. Was in that for about a year, started working on obtaining certifications and all that good stuff, and now we're here 2 years later. For those of you who are in the help desk role right now, or was previously on a help desk, you know how a typical work day would be, taking 30 to 50 calls, depending on how busy the day is, very repetitive, and it gets very old very fast. Some of the stuff is fun, but it does get old. One of the main differences between being on the help desk and being in an administrative role is when you're on the help desk, the way that you get your workflow, or the way that you get tasks, you get them through tickets. When people call, that generates a ticket, and you work that ticket. It is completely different when you're in an administrative role. When you're in an admin role, instead of having tickets, you have projects. And these projects are usually, very long. They take weeks, sometimes months, depending on whatever it is. You're adding equipment to a network, removing equipment, implementing certain platforms and certain programs, all kinds of cool stuff. And that was definitely something that I was very uncomfortable with when I made the transition to a network administrator. It felt like I was in the land of the unknown. To give you guys a frame of reference to what I'm saying, as I said before in previous videos, I was going for the CCNA, which is, one of the main certifications you need if you want to go down the network path when it comes to IT. I've been working to obtain that certification maybe for about a year now. And I obtained the first half of it, which is the CCENT. Before getting the whole certification, I managed to land this role. So of course, I'm in the process of getting the CCNA still, but I had to start all the way over because of the certpocalypse. Anyways, coming into this job, I was told that routing and switching is the foundation. As long as I know routing and switching, everything else wouldn't be that bad. When I went into this job, that's what I initially thought. So, I had a good idea, about routing and switching because I had been studying for it for maybe about a whole year. Not constantly, but, on and off. I do some labs, like I said, I got the CCENT, and, I thought I was pretty well rounded. Not even a week being into this role, I learned that routing and switching is only about 30% of the things that you will do. There were like 4 or 5 other platforms that I had heard through the grapevines. Sorry about that. But I did not think that I'd be working with them directly. For instance, SolarWinds, which is a monitoring platform used to where you can add nodes to it and you can monitor those nodes and see when they go down, when, for example, like if a UPS, if the battery is about to die on the UPS or whatever the case may be. SolarWinds was one of them. Cisco Meraki was another platform that I had to get familiar with. Prior to this job, I only heard about Cisco Meraki, during Cisco conferences. I never studied the platform specifically. I also had to get familiar with Palo Alto firewalls, which is something that I've never touched. Long story short, the transition was a little scary. And to top it all off, not even a month after getting this job as a network admin, guess what happened? COVID-19. So not only do I have to get familiar with these platforms, I have to do it from home. Which adds a whole bunch of other variables and make this a lot more complicated than I would want it to be. Some people would think, oh man, that gotta be awesome. You get to do all this stuff from home. It is not as easy as you think it would be. Working with all these platforms and having 2 kids and a dog made the transition a lot more stressful. And not stressful in a bad way. It's just that I didn't have time to make videos. I barely had time to do anything outside of work. And that was very discouraging. Fortunately, the team that I am a part of, they were very understanding. They were like, look, we understand, you're new, you're trying to learn this, you're trying to learn that. All you have to do is ask us questions. Don't be afraid to tell us that you don't know something. We're willing to walk you through and help you learn everything that you need to know, which was perfect. It made it a whole lot easier and it made the transition a whole lot smoother. It was still rough, but it was smooth. That's the one thing I kind of wanted to just get across to everybody when making this video. Because of course, in the beginning, you're going to be met with a lot of situations that you are not familiar with, that make you uncomfortable. But of course, since it's the beginning, you're hungry, you're willing to learn. One thing that I want to tell you guys is even when you get where you want to be career-wise, you are still going to be put in these situations where you're going to be, thrown into an area where you're clueless. One thing that I want you guys to do is make sure that you stay vigilant, you approach the situation ready to learn, and stay as fired up as you can be. Because guess what? Before you know it, you'll be a cybersecurity engineer or a cybersecurity architect or a network administrator or a cloud engineer or whatever it is that you strive to be when it comes to IT. Take it from me. In my journey, it's only been 2 years and I am already a network administrator. 2 years. 2 years ago, I knew nothing. 2 years, I was just a guy looking to get some certifications, trying to figure out how I was going to break into the IT industry. And with hard work, taking the time to do the work, staying up late some nights and waking up early some nights in order to get some studying done, I managed to get, pretty far in my IT career in just 2 years. Keep your eyes on the prize and never stop fighting for what you want. As always, if you liked the video, if the content was decent, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment in the section below, whatever makes you feel good, because that feedback not only, helps me, but it helps somebody else who's new and thinking about getting into the IT industry. If anybody can relate to these feelings of, being thrown into the lands of the unknown, please comment in the section below and tell me your story because I'm curious to hear it. If you have any questions, you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, I even have Twitter. Go ahead and shoot me a question and we can talk about whatever it is that's on your mind. That's all I got for you guys today. As always, stay safe, stay positive, and get the gains, be it in the gym or in the books. See ya.